March 17th, 2016. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 95 of You Can Bet On That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet On That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
So you ready for March Madness,
Mike?
I
am so ready for basketball.
Yeah, it's always fun.
I'm not big on pro basketball.
Yeah, no.
I'll watch maybe the playoffs a little in the finals. But college basketball, I could watch that every day of the year.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Looking forward to it. So who did you get? We have a pool that we go in every year, and it's basically just your assigned teams randomly.
Right.
Who was your number one
North
pick?
Carolina. I got North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
I was happy with that.
Yeah.
They're a decent team.
Yeah, they're number one seed.
Yeah,
right?
they're number one. I don't know that they'll be in the Final Four, but they're as good a chance as anybody.
Yeah, good. I got my highest seed is Michigan State, which is a number 2.
Yeah, but it's good. I mean, they're a good team.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'd be happy with them, actually, too.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to it, especially this first weekend, Thursday through Sunday. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
You know,
it's just nonstop.
It's nonstop. I sit at work and I keep getting updates.
You know what I like is I get home late, and I'll even get home like 7:30. There's still games going on.
There's a game about to start.
Right.
Yeah.
And I sit down and watch it till I go to bed. I love that.
I know. It is great. It is great. All right. Well, let's move on to some pretty big news. We found out Taylor, a friend Taylor, actually posted this initially, and now it's kind of spreading throughout the gambling blogosphere. But the Downtown Grand announced that they now have free buy bets on the 4 and 10 at their craps table.
Can you believe that?
This is great news. And it's so funny because just last episode, we were talking how, some of the casinos in New Mexico had adopted this. And how wouldn't it be great if that kind of thing spread instead of 6 to 5 blackjack?
And Taylor's from New Mexico.
That's right.
I wonder if he's like some catalyst.
Maybe he had some influence because I know he goes to Downtown Grand quite a bit. So yeah, he could have.
He's there just pestering him every day. I want free buy bets. And hey, that's not a bad idea.
So this news, I think, is actually huge. Now, whether anything huge kind of comes from it, if it really spreads to other casinos, I don't know. But this is the first time I can think of in a long time where a casino has said, here's one of our games, here's a rule that we're going to make that really is good for the player.
Right. And it's going to draw people in. If you're a craps player, that's a great thing. And it's a $10 minimum bet.
$10 and up is when the free buy bet kicks in.
Which is amazing because I thought, so you can bet 10 on a 4. 4 comes up, you get $20.
Yeah, so
it doesn't cost you anything.
Just to explain buy bets again real quick, a buy bet, usually you have to pay a commission to make a buy bet or some kind of VIG. At Downtown Grand, it's free. So when you bet on a 4 or a 10, it will pay the true odds of rolling a 4 before a 7, which is 2 to 1. So you bet on that 4, $10, you will get $20. There is zero house edge on that bet.
How many other bets are there in Vegas where there's zero house edge?
Only the free odds in craps. And with that, you have to make a pass line or a come bet, right? To so even bet that. But here, I'll take the 4 for $10. You
take the 4 and 10 for $10 each.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is great because we've talked about, hey, how come casinos don't do things on their craps tables to try to get people to come there instead of other casinos? And I'll tell you, when we go here in a few weeks for a visit, we're going to the Downtown Grand. We're going to play there. We probably wouldn't have gone there otherwise.
No, I don't think we would have.
Right? We would have.
No, I'm definitely going to go there. I'm going to buy the 4 and 10 every time.
Every time.
Right.
Exactly. So.
You know what's nice about that, too, is in the downtown situation, since there's so many casinos close to each other, that draws people there for them.
Yes.
Now, I don't know, if, say, Excalibur was offering that, if that would get people to leave, from Caesars and drive to Excalibur for free odds, right?
I see what you're saying, yeah.
But if you're downtown and you're, just across the street or something, you'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll go over there and play.
Yeah. Well, I hope that it stays there as, because it might be something gimmicky and then it goes away.
Right.
But I'm hoping that they keep this offer and then some of the other casinos downtown start to adopt it. Oh, just kind of like how it used to be, you always had to pay the VIG on the buy bet up front.
Right.
And now now in Vegas, it's pretty consistent that you have to pay only on a win. That's spread.
Yeah.
It'd be great if this could spread because they're still going to make money at their craps tables.
Right.
People are still going to be making all the other bets. So
yeah, and it's just going to get people in the door. It's the lost leader of craps.
yeah, it's the lost leader of craps. Well, I think this is huge news. I hope that, a year from now I can say, hey, remember a year ago when they introduced this and now it's spreading? I'll keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, and maybe there's other things coming.
Yes, right.
Maybe some casinos decide that 3-2 is a good payout for a blackjack.
That'd be great. Wouldn't that be great if a casino started doing that and it started spreading to other casinos?
Yes.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah, we'll have to wait till Steve wins in his 6 feet under or something.
Well, speaking of buy bets, on the last episode, we were talking about those shoot to win craps machines, the machines where you press the button and the big dice get rolled. And we said, there's really no different strategy for those machines versus a regular craps table. Well, it's interesting because listener Todd pointed us to a video of someone who was playing this shoot to win craps game. And I'm going to post a link to it so everybody can see. And if you watch this video, you'll see that the player does not place any numbers. Instead, he buys them.
Oh, yeah. So you can buy the 5, the 9.
Yeah, you can buy
6,
any
the
of the
8.
numbers. Yes, right. So if you watch this video, he has a $5 bet on 10, a buy bet.
Okay.
And when it hits, he gets paid $9.50. So a regular place bet would only pay $9.
Right.
9
Correct.
to 5, right? But
Right.
instead he gets $9.50. And that's sort of a weird buy amount because it's kind of like it's 10% of the initial bet, not 5% that the VIG really is. But anyway, the point is he gets paid more on a buy bet. Then later, if you watch, he's got a $5 bet on the 5, a buy bet.
Okay.
And when it hits, it pays $7.13.
Huh.
Which,
interesting.
Again, who knows how the machine is coming up with this number?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes no sense at all.
Todd and I were kind of talking about it. It really doesn't. We're trying to figure out how it's working, but still, it's more than the $7.
Right. You would get if you placed it.
Placed it. So $7.13. So keep in mind, if you're on any of these shoot to win craps machines, don't place numbers, buy them.
Yeah. I wonder, is there anything on the machine that tells you that this is?
I don't know. And we'll have to try it next time we're out there. If you do go on it and you buy like the 6 and 8 and it turns out you're getting paid less,
right,
then it would be then switch back. But who knows the way the programming is? We're not sure how it's coming up with the numbers, but
and
just
was
something
there a
to keep in
VIG
mind.
for the 5 and 9 when you buy that? When you buy it for $5, does it?
No, it doesn't take it up front. You just put the $5 up there. It's not like it charges you 6, at least not that we could see. That'd be something to watch out for sure.
Right,
but
right.
yeah. So,
Interesting.
yeah. Anyway, keep that in mind. And again, I'll post a link to the video so everybody can see. Some other news. Listener Justin pointed us to a promotion that Total Rewards is offering where they will give you a 50% bonus in tier credits earned between April 1st and June 30th. So as long as
50% more tier credits 50% than you would have earned.
Right, exactly. So the minimum is you have to earn at least 1,000 tier credits during that period, and you'll get a 50% bonus. So if you were to earn, like, say, 5,000 tier credits during that period, you'd get an additional 2,500 tier credits.
Yeah, so you get 7,500 total tier credits.
Right, exactly.
That's good for someone who's trying to get to a certain status.
Oh, absolutely. The maximum bonus you can earn is 25,000 tier credits. So if you earned 50,000 during that period, or more than 50,000 during that period, 25,000 is the most in the bonus that you'll get.
Sure.
It's something that you have to opt in for. It's not automatic. Because kind of like you said,
not again.
You said in the past, if you really don't want this, if somebody were really opposed to this, well, they wouldn't be forced to
I don't want any extra tier credits.
Yeah. So you do have to opt into it. So I will post a link in our show notes where you can go to do this. Also, if you were to just Google Total Rewards Spring Tier Credit Bonus, the website is like the first thing that comes up in the search
results. So did they send out, did you get an email about this?
I didn't get anything about it. I found out about it from Justin initially, and some other people have been circulating this information.
Either.
No, I didn't either. Yeah.
So how do I know to opt in?
I'm telling you right now, you're listening to the You Can Bet on That podcast. That's how you know to opt in.
Well, this is a good thing to listen to. I need the bonus tier credits.
That's right. So anyway, click on that. I think what you do, you have to provide your email address. I think that's what the whole thing is. They want to make sure they have your email address.
Well, what if they already do? They already have our email
I went
address.
through it. I still had to enter my email address, even though they already have it. So I don't know. But it seems like
sure
that's all
this
you have
isn't
to do.
some scam where some guy's going to call me from India?
Yeah,
and,
good luck to you. Good luck to you. We'll find out after June 30th whether you get the tier credits or not. So, hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link at the top of the page. That way, when you make a purchase, we get a little kickback that helps cover the costs of hosting the show, and it doesn't cost you a thing. You'll pay the same price just like normal. All right, let's move on to our voicemail hotline. Remember, call our hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
And maybe we'll play your clip on the show. Our first clip is actually an audio message that we got from Dave, not a phone call. He just sent us an audio file.
Okay.
He's the creator of Poker for Roulette that we talked about a little while ago. It's a wager on the roulette table that will pay off if the next 3 spins correspond to some kind of poker hand. So let's hear from Dave.
Hi, it's Dave from Northern New Jersey. You used my phone call about a month ago. I'm really behind on my podcasts. Anyway, I'm the guy that invented the Poker for Roulette side bet, and you had some follow-up questions. First thing is, you missed one important factor about Poker for Roulette. The 0 and double 0 is completely wild. So it adds a lot of possibilities when you're thinking about if you're going to win or not. As soon as that 0 or double 0 shows up, you've won automatically at least a pair. There could be a lot of anticipation involved. For example, let's say you put your bet down and the next spin is a 17 and the one after that is a 0. Well, okay, at the very least, you've got yourself a pair. But now you're thinking about the third spin. It could be another 17 for 3 of a kind, or a 0 or double 0 for 3 of a kind, but it could also be 15, 16, 18, or 19 for a straight. So there's a lot of possibilities going on. Also, I've got jackpots involved. If 3 spins are all 0s or double 0s, you get the jackpot, which can be a progressive if that's what the casino wants to do. So there's a lot of things going on with this bet, and I really appreciate you talking about it. Thanks a lot. On that episode, we were also talking about how much casinos pay the various companies that come up with the games, and you speculated that maybe I can give you some answers on that. Unfortunately, I can't, because I just don't know. I mean, I have a clue as to what I may make, but even that is just very vague. So then you were talking about the fire bet and how it seems to be disappearing from the casinos. And I have 2 theories, and mind you, these are just theories. I haven't heard anything. One is when that 6 number fire bet hits, in a lot of casinos, the table comes to a halt and surveillance has got to check the tapes, and it's just a pain, and they don't want to do it. They don't want to have a table that's stopped. And the other thing is the tokes, which you guys mentioned, but you didn't mention what I'm thinking. Sometimes the total of the toke bet is more than the maximum bet that a player can make. And if the 6-bet fire bet hits, they will only pay as if it was the maximum bet. And nobody likes that. So that might be part of it too. That's all I can tell you right now. Once again, love the show. Keep up the good work. Thanks.
All right, yeah, thanks, Dave. So, yeah, some good theories as to why the fire bet seems to be disappearing from some of the casinos.
I like his first theory. That may have a lot to do with it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because it takes so much time to pay out, and then when you do hit 6, we had to fill out paperwork and everything, and the game kind of comes to a halt there.
Yes.
And they may think, well, let's offer this other bet, the all tall, all small.
Right.
The game doesn't stop.
Yeah, it doesn't take nearly as much time to pay off.
We just take a payout. The payout isn't as big.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you might hit more of them, but it probably doesn't stop the game. So,
yes.
These bean counters, I'm sure somebody's figured out that that's going to make them more money in the long run.
It could be. Although, we did get a picture from one of our listeners showing an Atlantic City craps table that had the fire bet and the all tall small bet, right, at Caesars Atlantic City. So, I mean,
that's my casino.
That's your dream.
That's my dream, with a huge table that has every possible bet ever on it, right?
Yeah, well, thanks for that, Dave. And we're looking forward to seeing Poker for Roulette on a roulette table real soon.
Yeah, I would be interested to see when that came out. I like the wild card thing.
Yes, that does make it a lot more fun.
Because one of the things I hate about roulette, I hate 0 and 000. I've never bet them.
Sure,
I mean,
no,
you notice I never bet them, right?
Yeah.
You just never pick them, right? You're going to pick 12 red. You're not going to pick 000.
Yeah, it's true.
And so when they come up, it's always kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
With this bet, it'd be like, oh, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
right?
it's a bet other than sort of betting directly on them.
Right.
Where they can, actually help you. Yeah, that's
right.
true. That's true. That's true. All right, next call.
Hi, guys. I've got a couple of questions here. One, I'm wondering, for the Ask a Dealer segment, I wonder if dealers are ever told to give tips or to try to steer players to make certain bets. I've noticed, for example, when I play craps, the dealers are often trying to tell me not to play the pass line, but instead just choose a number and bet that, because then the number only has to come up one time. I know, terrible advice, and I get so sick of people telling me that. I'm wondering if maybe the dealers are being told that. Separately, I'm also curious if we can ever get your wives on the show. I think it would be really interesting to hear about their take on your gambling habits. Keep doing a great job. Look forward to the next episode.
Yeah, let's see. Would we want our wives on the show?
That's exactly
to
what
talk
I was
about
thinking.
our gambling
Yeah,
habits?
that was exactly what I was thinking. I don't know that I'd want to hear my wife talk about it.
Would
that might be scary.
Would they like to be on the show? I don't know.
I don't know about that either. But I'd be scared what my wife would say.
That's right. Well, I have final editing powers, so
That's true.
no matter what they say, I could edit it to make it sound, make
Can
us
you
look good.
synthesize their voices so we can write it for them?
That's right.
Oh, I love it when he goes to the casino.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. And thanks for the Ask a Dealer question. Yeah, we are accumulating the questions that we're getting now. We're trying to coordinate a time when we can actually have our dealer friend come on the show and answer the questions. So thanks for everyone who's been sending in Ask a Dealer questions, and we'll include that one.
To answer his question about do you think, I'm just guessing now, and we'll ask to be clear about this, but I know they do tell dealers to suggestively sell bets.
Yes.
So at a craps table, I've heard pit bosses tell the stick man, you're not talking enough.
Sure.
And they want you, the field's open, who wants to bet the hard ones?
Who wants to bet the hard way? That's a big one that they,
right.
Yeah,
the point's 8. Who wants to bet it hard? Come on. I mean, they're always trying to suggestively sell some of those maybe not quite so good bets.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just good business on the casino's part. So yeah, I'm sure they do. Now, whether they tell them to place a number or buy a number or, don't bet the pass line, I don't know if they go that far.
If I were a dealer, I'd prefer to be on the pass line, right? A better chance of winning, right? At 7, I automatically win, right? So,
right.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a trip report from Andrew.
Hey guys, Andrew from Richmond. I just got back from my recent Vegas trip. I want to tell you about that. But first, I'd like to clear up the fact that that $14 donation under Catherine was actually from me. I did it under my wife's PayPal and wouldn't want to give her credit for anything that she didn't do. So appreciate it. But yeah, I went out to Vegas Sunday through Wednesday. It was a good trip overall with my uncle and my dad. We go out every year. Everybody won this year. Wanted to tell you about that. We have a rule that anything under $100 that we have left over, we throw in a slot machine. So the first night there, we did that at the Wynn on a Monopoly machine. And the second spin won the $1,300 free parking jackpot. So that was kind of cool. None of us have ever won a jackpot before, but so it was a hand pay. And one interesting thing was they sent an attendant over, but they didn't take taxes out. They made us fill a W-2 form, but they gave us the full $1,300. And I thought for sure they were going to take the 25% right off the top. So wanted your thoughts on that.
Yeah, okay, so here's how it works when you're on a machine. If you're playing a machine, so a slot machine or video poker, you will get a hand pay and a W-2G tax form anytime you win $1,200 or more. Now, no taxes are taken out of the money they pay you as long as you have some kind of tax identification number, like your Social Security number. Show ID, give them your Social Security number. They will not withhold any taxes. You'll get the full amount, and you fill out the W-2G.
And they will either send you a copy of that, I believe, or they'll give you one right then, right?
They'll give it to you right then.
Yeah, so then it's your responsibility to declare that.
Exactly right. It's your responsibility. Now, if you don't have a tax ID number to show them, or you refuse to for some reason, then they will withhold 28%.
Okay.
As long as you have that ID, they'll give you the money.
Now, just to clarify, that $1,200 is a $1,200 win on one
One
bet.
spin.
One
Yeah, one
whatever.
deal of on
It's not
video
a
poker.
cumulative thing like, you sat there and you just happened to win 50 here, 60 here, and you got up to 1,300.
Right.
And you go to cash out. Then you just get your voucher.
Yes, right. So yes, it's on a single spin or a single deal in video poker, and it's regardless of the denomination you're playing. So you could be playing, a dollar machine, you could be playing a $25 machine, whatever it is, $1,200 or more.
Yeah, that kind of bugs me a little bit. They had to change that law because if you're playing a $25 machine,
I know
it doesn't take much to win $1,200,
Yes.
right?
It should be a scale, kind of a sliding scale,
right.
depending on the denomination, but
Yeah,
that's
how
not
much
the
you're
way it
putting
is
in
right
there.
now. Yeah. Now at table games, the only time you get a W2G is if the payout of your bet is at least 300 times your original wager, and the payout is over $5,000
On a single bet.
on a single bet. So in that case, they do withhold tax. You get the W2G and they do withhold 25%. So that's just for table games. So that doesn't happen very often because how many wagers do you win that are 300 to 1 or more?
Right.
Firebet is a good example. That can be, some of these other jackpots are that way.
Right.
In that case, you do get a W2G and they do withhold 25%. But at the slots and at video poker, you get the W2G and they give you all your money.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, I like getting all my money.
Yeah, me too. I like getting all my money.
So that set a good tone for the trip. We ate some great food at the Julian Serrano restaurants. I highly recommend those. And then the other thing I wanted to tell you about was the last night we were there, I went over to Planet Hollywood by myself at about 8:30 at night. We had a 6:30 a.m. flight, and I played at the same blackjack table for 8 hours with my initial buy-in of $300. Never had to reach in my pocket for more money. I varied my bet between 25 and 100 a hand, depending on how the shoe was going. And so did everybody else at the table. Everybody else was doing the same thing I was, of just kind of winning a little, losing a little, staying even, and had a great time. It was the most fun at a blackjack table I've ever had, just with the group of guys that were there and just staying consistent, winning 2 hands, losing a hand, et cetera. So that was cool. But one thing I wanted to ask you was, I didn't get as many tier credits for that 8 hours of play as I thought I would. I really only got like 90 or 100 total rewards credits. And I thought for sure that I would get a lot more than that just based on the amount of time that I was playing there and, betting between 25 and 100 a hand. So what are your thoughts on that? Maybe whether I should email them or call or just let it go. So anyway, appreciate the show, guys. Look forward to the next episode. Talk to you soon. Bye.
When I first heard Andrew say he played for 8 hours on $300 at a blackjack table, I'm thinking, oh, that's pretty good. But then when he said his minimum bet was $25,
right? Because I thought, hearing the start of this, I thought he's at a $10 table.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, that's pretty good.
25.
That's astounding.
And he's going up to 100.
Yeah, that's astounding for $300. 8 hours. That really is
That's
something.
12 bets.
Yeah,
he basically has 12 bets.
Yeah.
And he could play for that long. He was having some good.
Yeah, that's great.
Good run of luck. The rating should be way more than that.
Yeah.
I would think.
I'll tell you, Andrew, it's up to you if you want to try to pursue it. I don't know how much luck you're going to have, to be honest with you.
It might be more hassle than it's worth, really.
But we certainly know how frustrating it is. Even today, Mike, you and I were talking about how this last trip that we took to Harrah's by us, we played at a $25 table, which is not something I normally do. So I was playing way more than I usually do.
And I was betting between 50 and 75 on the line.
Yes,
every time.
along with all your other bets.
Along with all my other bets.
And we got one of the worst ratings that we've had all year. It just makes no sense at all.
It makes absolutely no sense. And we were there quite a few hours.
Oh my gosh.
There's some like witch doctor. And I mean, it's an actual witch doctor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a guy, he's got a bone in his hair and all the whole get up.
Uh-huh.
And he's the guy up there looking at the video rating people.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think sometimes he's smoking a little too much.
Or he like burns $100 bill in a bowl and then
Right.
looks at the ashes, and that determines how your
the
rating is going to be. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
There's no science behind this. I mean, literally, how can we have got such a bad rating? How could Andrew get such a bad rating playing $25
$25
for 8 hours?
minimum. Yeah, I know.
That's a guy putting out some money there.
Yep, absolutely.
It's crazy. It's just absolutely. And you know what? If he fights this, probably gets nowhere.
Yeah,
right?
or he gets like, oh, okay, we'll give you 50 more tier credits.
Right.
Great.
It might not even be worth his time to be on the phone that long.
No, I
right?
know. Right. Yeah. Okay, let's hear from Mike.
Hey guys, this is Mike from the San Fernando Valley out here in California. I'm actually going to be heading out to Vegas in about a week and a half from now, March 19th through the 23rd. I'm going out there for my 2-year wedding anniversary. We'll be staying at the Luxor. Got married at the Luxor 2 years ago to my beautiful wife. Usually when I go to Vegas, I usually go and play craps at Casino Royale, the Link, O'Shea's, and I try to catch their $5 minimum tables. Other than Casino Royale, because, Casino Royale is not that, we'll just say not that nice of a casino. I just want to know, other than Casino Royale on the Strip, is there any other casinos that are playing $5 minimum craps tables? Sometimes I'll catch a table or two at the Luxor early in the morning, maybe at the Link or at the Flamingo, rarely. But again, I would like to find out if there is any other $5 minimum tables besides Casino Royale. I like playing $10 tables, but it just seems like my bankroll goes so fast if I'm not doing well. Great speaking to you guys. I'll be listening to you guys soon. All right, guys, have a good day.
I think Excalibur has a $5 table.
Yeah, well, they have in the past.
Almost all the time. Maybe it is all the time. So that would work out good for you, especially if you're at Luxor, because then it's right there. Yeah. Otherwise, I think you could find some $5 tables, but not all the time.
No. Well, didn't we play at a $5 table at Cromwell?
No, it was $10.
Was it 10?
Yeah, when we were there, we were at night.
Yeah, I want to say I was there once, though, early in the morning, and they did have a $5
And we've heard
table.
about that, too. So, certainly some of these lower tier casinos are going to have $5 tables sometimes.
Especially early in the morning, I would say.
Yeah.
And if you happen to be there midweek, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know about a weekend.
That would be the thing. Don't play at the peak hours. You could probably find them at a lot of the lower tier places, like the Link or Harrah's, things like that. If you were willing to go all the way down to Circus, they probably have a $5 table, but that's quite a trek. The thing is, though, at night, it's probably going to be 10 is the least you could find. But I'd say Excalibur probably be your best bet.
Right. And I, do what Mark does when he has to go like this last weekend when you're playing at a $25 table. He was taking single odds.
Yes. Right.
Or double odds. He wasn't taking 5 times on the 6 and 8.
Yeah, because a $10 table can eat you up.
Yeah, it just gets too much. So just, cut back on your odds a little bit.
Yeah.
That's probably the best thing to do. I mean, as far as like managing your money, right?
Yes.
And then, I don't know, instead of, let's say you're a place better and you usually go inside. Well, don't go inside, just take 2 of the numbers instead of 3.
Yes.
So basically you're getting the same amount of money out on the table you'd have with the $5 bets. And if it is bad, you're going to lose.
Yeah, the volatility is going to be greater, but yeah, it's a risk that you can take. Yep. Okay, we've got a call here from Carter. Now, Carter actually called twice, and I combined the calls, but each call, there was some audio that kind of got messed up, so I put it together as best I can. So here we go.
Hey, what's happening, Mark and Dr. Mike? This is Carter from Portland calling you back with my trip report for my birthday weekend in Vegas last weekend. It was really great overall. We got in on Friday afternoon and got picked up and taken to Nobu Hotel. And I gotta be honest, I feel like Nobu Hotel is a lot of hype. I've stayed at Cosmo and Aria Sky Suites before, and I much prefer them over Nobu Hotel. The restaurant, I ate there one night. It was fantastic. Arguably my favorite in Vegas. But the hotel did not live up to the name of the restaurant, unfortunately. A lot of minor problems. They advertised 24-hour room service at 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night. We called room service, and they said that room service was closed from 3 to 4 every day, which didn't do us any favors.
23 hours.
We were out of luck there, even though that's one of their main selling points is 24-hour room service.
What it is, it's not 24 hours in a row.
Yeah, right.
See, that's what Carter didn't understand. Right?
They should have made that a little more explicit.
They should have. Yeah, it's 24 hours, just not in a row.
Yeah, just not in a row.
From Nobu, restaurant for Nobu guests. I had some laundry that I had to get sent out that they totally messed up every which way. Every day there seemed to be one small thing that they did wrong, which just at a hotel like that you would expect to go smoothly. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I definitely thought that Cosmopolitan and Aria Sky Suites had arguably nicer rooms, much better service. And yeah, Caesar's Palace, all in all, it was smoky, kind of smokier than I remembered. The dealers there, just like you guys were saying, were not very friendly or charismatic, kind of seemed preoccupied and like they just couldn't wait to be finished and go home, which I was, disappointed with, very short-sighted. Like if there was someone smoking at the table, they were like, please, and which, and I understand in a way, but at the same time, it's like, hey, we're people on vacation, we're smoking. If you don't like smoke, then you should get a different job. Now, as far as Craft Plane, on the second day on Saturday, we went to O'Shea's as we were walking around early in the afternoon, killing time. And we started playing little craps at a $10 table, and they had a fire bet there, which I don't think I saw anywhere else. Maybe Cromwell also had it. It's the only two places I remember seeing it. And we hit a 5-point fire bet, which was very exciting. A couple good rolls, and then the roller hit a 5-point fire bet, and I had full odds on all, and I really cleaned up on that roll, and I only had $1 on the thing, but it made the roll so much more fun. And the guy came out on the 6th number and then crapped out. So it was really exciting. I liked that fire bet a lot. And then, of course, after that, I took my money, cashed out, walked away, went over to the Cosmo, which I think is, I don't think it is my favorite place, and started playing there and lost $500 at a $25 table rather quickly, which I wasn't very happy about. So we backed off to the sports book, watched the Blazer game, bet on that, lost of course, but it was more fun. Came back to the table, bought in again, and won big. All my money back, plus a little extra on my roll and another guy's roll. Had a great roll. The guy who won big, he called a hard 10, said he was going to roll it again, put $500 up on the hard 10 and hit it through a hard 10 and just nailed it. Yeah, I even had $25 on at that point. Everyone went crazy. It was a lot of fun. And then later in the night, I went to Paris. Even though I didn't like Paris very much, I thought it was just kind of a cheaper knockoff version of Caesar's Palace. But I had a great roll at their table. Probably the best roll of my entire life. I don't even know how long it lasted or how many rolls I had, but I won over $1,000 on the single roll. And it was a great roll. Again, just cashed out. Went over to Cromwell, where we were seeing one of those hip-hop shows. Had some great meals. Mastros Ocean Club, at Crystal's, fantastic. Nobu, fantastic. Ate at the buffet a couple times. All in all, it was a great trip. Cosmopolitan is going to be getting my business from now on, and hope to call you guys back with another trip report soon.
Well, that's too bad about the Nobu Hotel.
Yeah, but you know how that goes when something's so highly rated.
Yeah,
it's hard to live up to those expectations.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I mean, I'm almost happier staying at a so-so place and getting great service.
Yeah,
and then you feel like, hey, these guys really, went all out. You go to a really nice place, and I've had this same experience at Caesars. You expect such good service, and when it's not so good. It's so disappointing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's almost like the fire bet. You'd almost rather have 5 numbers and never come out on the 6th if you're not going to make it.
Okay.
Right? You know what I mean? Because when you come out on that 6th and you don't make it, you're always, it kind of...
We were there, but if you never came out on the 6th, it's like, well, 5.
We hit
that's
5. That was great. You're
great.
real happy about the 5. When you don't make that 6th one, you're kind of like, 5 was okay, but we were out on 6,
Nice. Well, congratulations to Carter on hitting that. I don't think we've mentioned this on the show. You've rolled 5-point fire bets twice this year so far.
One in January, one in February. I got to do a March. I got it just a couple weeks here, and it's got to happen.
Yeah.
That's my goal this year is to roll a 5 fire bet winner every month of the year.
All right.
And then if there is a month where it doesn't happen, I'm just going to forget about that month the rest of my life.
Or it could be the next month means a 6 is coming.
Yeah,
since you've skipped one, then
right.
That all makes sense. All right,
it has to happen, right? It's only logical.
It's just the law of averages.
It's math,
it's
Mark.
Math.
It's like you always say. It's just math.
All right, one more call.
Hey, Mark and Mike, this is Chris calling. Just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate your podcast. I found you guys recently. I got into craps not too long ago, and I actually just Googled craps stories podcast, just to hear about craps, and found you guys and was pleasantly surprised to find out you guys are local. We live up in Encinitas. So it's cool that you guys are nearby. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys enjoy the show. I especially enjoy the trip reports and hearing about your roles and at Harrah's and Vegas. We normally just go to Verona out here, but actually last night we went to Harrah's for the first time and was hoping to see you guys, but I don't think you guys were there. Anyways, my girlfriend and I went out to Denver over the New Year to watch the Chargers lose to the Broncos, but that was a lot of fun. We took a shuttle bus up to the mountains up there, and we played some craps, did well at that, and they have legit Vegas-style craps where it's not card-based like here in California, so that was cool. And waiting to eat dinner, my girlfriend and I were playing video poker at the bar, and she hit her third royal flush all within the last 6 months. She's hit 3 in 3 different states, Colorado, Nevada, and here at Verona. So that was pretty exciting. Yeah, so hope to run into you guys at Harrah's one day. Keep doing what you're doing. Enjoy the show. Bye.
How come I have never hit a royal flush.
I've never hit one either. Yeah.
And we play a fair amount.
It'll happen eventually. I know all of our friends have hit them.
Yeah.
You know, our friend Frank was dealt one at the airport. He didn't even have to draw. He was just dealt
one.
A royal flush.
And Chris's girlfriend here has hit 3 in 6 months.
Yeah.
Now, she's probably way luckier than I am.
Sure.
But, that's pretty obvious.
That doesn't take much.
Yeah, it doesn't take all that. It just never happens to us.
It'll happen eventually. Hey, we hit the fire bet. But
so they're in Encinitas, right? Mm-hmm. So Chris, why don't you guys head up on a Friday night? It's almost every Friday.
Almost every Friday, although we're probably not going up the next 2 weeks before our trip for visit because we're kind of saving up. So
and we have a poker tournament.
That's right. We're doing that this weekend, a poker tournament.
Yeah.
So sometime after April, the first weekend in April, it's almost every Friday night.
And if you come between, say, 7 o'clock and 1 or 2 in the morning, you can just walk up to any craps table and say, "Where's Mike and Mark?"
Yeah, and everybody knows us there. So
everyone will know, and they'll, that's them right there.
We're there, yes. Yeah.
So we're easy to find.
Yeah.
And loud.
Yeah, we are.
If you just look for the 2 loudest people.
Unless it's like midnight and we're really losing, then we're super quiet.
Yeah, then it's pretty quiet. Well, then you'll be easy to find us too. It's the 2 guys with the scowls on their face.
Yes. So speaking of visit, it's coming up in just a little over 2 weeks. We actually will be releasing one more episode before our trip, but we're going to be releasing it like the day before we actually leave for visit. So I thought we'd talk about it a little bit. So we're arriving again early on Friday morning, April 1st.
I hope this isn't an April Fool's gag, you pulling on me that I'm going to get to go to Vegas. No, it just turns out we're not going.
No, because you actually were in charge of the flight. So, unless it was an April Fool's joke on your part.
You're not in with a casino host, are you?
So we're going to be getting in. We're going to be staying at the Strip all day on Friday. We'll be at the Strip. We probably won't tweet where we are till sometime in the afternoon because we kind of want to get settled.
Right, and we're getting there pretty early in the morning. I don't think anyone's going to want to meet us at 8:30 a.m.
We'll need to probably check our bags. We probably won't even be able to get into our room yet. So probably once we're in our room after that, we'll tweet where we are. But, we'll be on the Strip. And then the next morning, we're going to head downtown and play as much as we can before the main event at the D at 2 o'clock. It's going to be Vegas Tripping and Vegas Gang and 500 by midnight. They're all going to be doing their podcasts live down there at the D. So, and then we're heading out that night. So it's just a, one night stay.
Trip.
It's a quick trip for us. So, but we hope to see everybody there. All right, let's move on to the Poker Home Games segment. This is the segment of the show where we talk about poker games that you wouldn't play in a real casino, but that you might play with your buddies when you get together for a poker home game.
It's a long time since we've
we've done this one. Yeah, so this game is called Stud'em. So it's like a combination of stud and hold'em. Stud'em. And I found out about this game from the Barge website. Barge stands for Big August Rec Gambling Excursion, and we talked about them on episode 76. So that's how I found out about the game. They had this page with, a bunch of rules for, some of these home games. Apparently they've removed that page. They don't have it anymore. I don't know why. They don't have
the rules anymore?
No, they don't have the list of all the games and the rules and everything. So I don't know what happened to it. But anyway, that's where I found out about it. Okay, betting is like Texas Hold'em. So you've got a small blind and a big blind. And we play played, limit. So there are 2 rounds where there's a small bet and 2 rounds where there's a big bet. So it's like Texas Hold'em. So everybody gets play 2 cards down, and then you have the betting round, with the small bet to start. Then each player is dealt 1 up card. So now everybody's got 2 down cards and an up card.
This is where it gets more like stud.
Right. Now, at this point, it wasn't clear when we were reading the rules whether the betting should start with whoever has the highest card showing, which is what you usually do when people have individual cards showing.
Right. Or if it should be like Hold'em.
Or to start with Hold'em.
Yeah.
We decided to just keep it like Hold'em.
Okay.
And that way. And if you could probably do either way, it'd be fine. But that's the way that we did it. So now everybody's got 2 down cards and an up card, and there's another betting round at the small bet limit. Then there's a 3-card flop. 3 cards out on the board, community cards. Right?
Okay. So now there's a total of 6 cards in play
for each player.
3 community cards and 3 in your hand.
Yes. And then there is a betting round at the big bet limit.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is the third out of 4 betting rounds.
So this will be big bet.
And then a final down card is dealt to each player, and there's a final betting round at the big limit.
Yeah. So the river card is kind of like a down card.
Yeah. So at the end of everything, each player has 3 down cards and 1 up card, and there are 3 community cards out on the board. Just 3.
So it's stud, but you've got 3 cards that are community in every hand.
Yes, right.
Basically.
Right. And it's an interesting game because, how often do you have a game with community cards and individual cards, that other people can see,
right.
You've got. And it turned out
one of them they can see.
Well, one of them that they can see at least, usually you can't see any in a community game. You can't see any cards.
Yeah, usually.
So we actually enjoyed this quite a bit. You have to kind of get used to how it plays because of these up cards, right? Obviously, if there are 2 10s out there on the community and somebody's got a 10 showing, well, he's got trip 10s, everybody's probably going to fold to him. Or, maybe there are 3 cards to a straight out there and, you've got one showing that, fits into that straight. So maybe people would be afraid of you. So,
right.
I think a lot of the big money is made on hands that are still concealed.
Right.
Those 3 down cards that you have.
Sure.
But it really makes a difference that you can see other people's at least one card and kind of get a sense of,
Yeah, well, 4 of the cards in their hand, right? They're up card and the 3 community.
Right.
So that can either work against you or help you, I guess.
Sure. I mean, are they all hearts out on the board?
Right.
That can make a difference. Is it rainbow? Is it just they're all over the place? So it made for a very entertaining game, and it's something I think we're going to play in the future. So
I think I would like it better if the betting started with the highest card out.
Sure, that's fine.
On that first one. You know why? Because if the highest card was, say, somewhere in the middle of the betting sequence, if it was Hold'em, those first people, I mean, if one of them bets out, the guy with the high card's going to oh, wait a minute, they obviously can beat me. And if nobody bets out, then he's going to think he's got them beat. I don't know, just go with the high card, and that way he has to set the tone.
Yeah. You know what we should do? Maybe I'll start calling this a little more regularly at our home game, and we'll try each way and see if there's much of a difference or if it really matters, and we'll play it from there. That's a good idea.
Well, with this group here, I don't know that there'd be that much difference. The betting's pretty wild either way.
Yeah. So, I'll find out what helps me the most.
You're right. That's the important thing.
And then that's the way I'll
find
call
out
it.
which way people play it poorly.
Yes. Right.
And then call it that way.
That's right. That's what we'll do. Okay. Mark rules. We're going to play this Stud'em with Mark rules. Right.
Yeah, I should mention I came to the poker game last night.
Yeah, Mike
for the first time in a long time.
He hasn't come because he bowls usually, and it kind of keeps him away from our game. But he came last night.
I came and I was the big winner for the night.
Yes, you were.
and everyone, as I was leaving, oh, Mike, you got to come more. You got to come more. And I'm driving home, and at first I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I should really come more. And then I'm thinking, no, they just know that I win once, but then I'll lose 10 times in a row. That's why they want me there.
Sure, of course it is. You're okay with that, aren't you?
I'm actually okay with that.
Okay, good.
They want me to come and, jack those pots up for them.
That's really good. I remember there was one time where Mike brought a bunch of Girl Scout cookies and just threw one into every pot all night long.
Yeah, people got Girl Scout. Remember I brought shakes one. One night I brought shakes.
That's right, shakes. Did you put those in the pot too, or did you just give them to people?
Them out.
Okay, good. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode episode. Hey, we want to thank some people for some PayPal donations. First of all, Todd, thank you very much. He says, looking forward to seeing you guys at Visit. Yeah, that's great. We're going to see Todd again. Yeah. Also, Rick, thank you very much for the donation. Jeffrey, he said, Mark and Dr. Mike, thanks for the podcast. I found you about 8 months ago, and I've now gone back to listen to all the back episodes. Heading to Vegas for March Madness. Sorry you guys won't be there. Boy, one of these days.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be there the Final Four
Well,
weekend.
That's true. We're going to be there Final Four weekend.
We're going to be there for the first round of the Final Four.
Yeah, that's
on Saturday,
true. That's
right?
true. But the first weekend though of the March Madness, that is the time. And our friend Bill, he goes every year.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, one of these days. Also, thank you, Taylor. Taylor said we saw San Diego State lose in the conference tournament final last weekend in person. He says, better luck in the NCAA tournament. And of course, they're not in the tournament.
They didn't make it.
They're in the NIT.
Yeah.
But
I sat at home. I was so depressed after that loss.
Well, yeah, they're not. This year was not as.
They had a great conference schedule. The only team they couldn't beat was Fresno
State. I know. What's that all about? Hey, be sure to check out our TV listings showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. We update those listings every Wednesday using a customized program to search through all the raw American TV data. Just go to our webpage, youcanbetonthat.com, and click on the link at the top that says TV listings. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS. Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat. We tweet when we're heading to a casino, and we'd love to meet up with you. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. And finally, head on over to iTunes and write a review on us. When you do, it helps us get new listeners. What do you got, Dr. Mike?
Well, I wanted to say something about the NCAA tournament.
Okay.
And I hate to make predictions because, you saw what happened with you in the Super Bowl with that crappy prediction you made.
Yeah.
But San Diego State, I'm going to toot our horn here just a little bit. And your dad went to State and your mom went to State.
Too. My wife.
Yeah, and your wife too. And my wife.
It's funny, neither of us did. but it's the only college football team in town. Yeah.
And we live right, next to it, basically.
Yeah.
So we've always rooted for State. But they have a good team. And I know this year they had their problems, but they're all young. They're freshmen and sophomores. And they're not the kind of guys that are going to leave after a year or two. They're going to be there for a couple more years. Next year and the year after, they can be in a legitimate top 10 team.
Okay.
I'm going to make that prediction now.
That's your prediction. Okay.
That in the next 2 years, they will get a 1 or a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament.
A 1 or a 2?
A 1 or a 2.
All right. All right.
They've got great guards. They've got a couple of. They're tall, athletic. They're just young.
I understand.
And when they learn to win, I'm thinking a 2 seed. Maybe not next year, but the year after that.
But the thing is, even if they were good enough, I don't know that they would be assigned a 1 or a 2 by the committee. That's really the issue.
Now that could be an issue.
Yeah.
But they will be good enough, and people will argue that. I guarantee it. From my lips to Steve Fisher's pad that he writes on there during the game.
Ears would be fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I really do think they're good. Now, as far as this year goes, I'm going to pick Kansas.
Okay. Kansas is who you think is going to win the whole thing.
They're playing awfully good.
You're not the only
now.
one, so.
Yeah, no, they're playing awfully good right now. But there are some dark horses, and anyone could do it. North Carolina could do it. Michigan State could do it. I wouldn't even be surprised if we were to see like Villanova or some team like that squeak in there. It's kind of wide open.
All right.
So,
well, good luck to everybody who's got some money on it, and enjoy March Madness. It's the best sporting event of the year.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and we should also mention about Warren Buffett. Now, this year, he is only running a pool for his employees.
Oh, okay.
Now, he has quite a few employees. I think there was I don't know what it was. It's like 300,000 people who work for Warren Buffett companies. But every employee is entitled to enter a pool. And if anyone picks everything right, a completely perfect bracket.
Which nobody will.
Nobody will. But if they did, they get $1 million a year for the rest of their life.
Excellent.
The winner, the one who goes the furthest, who gets the most picks.
Yeah.
So somebody is going to win
Somebody will win this.
Will get $100,000 a year for the rest of their life.
Oh, that's great.
Now if I want to get a job with him, right?
It's too late,
Just to
isn't
take
it?
my chances. It's too late this year.
I don't think I can get a job tonight in enough time to fill out everything before the game starts tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, call him. I'll call. Warren, put me on the payroll just for.
just for.
But isn't that great?
That's fantastic.
I mean, I know he's got the money, and to him, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, but that is great.
It is great, and I think more companies should promote that.
Yeah.
The reason I heard about this, they were talking on the news how so many companies kind of frown on people filling their brackets out.
Sure,
and
all the
watching
productivity
games.
goes down. Sure,
right. Your boss probably isn't too happy that
Now,
you're
shh,
checking all day,
shh.
and my boss tomorrow is not going to be too happy that I'm going to be mad at myself for looking at my phone all day to see
Yep.
who's winning. But he actually promotes it.
Yeah.
He wants his employees to do it. And I think it's a good bonding thing, and the government
Good
should
morale.
just look past all the betting and
Yeah.
stuff.
All right.
That's another thing. The government should get out of our faces and let us bet.
All right. I think that's time to wrap it up. Thanks for listening.
Good night.